Hello, everyone. So, we'll be talking about today striking the right balance between artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Obviously, like AI, it's kind of like an emerging topic and trend. And we do want to, in this like next 30 minutes, we'll be looking at how exactly we can use the power of AI and its applications within the realms of like cybersecurity. So just a brief introduction about myself. I'm Parul Khanna. I'm based in Toronto and I work as the Director of Information Security for a financial firm here. And I'm essentially working as part of first line of defense, which is risk management. I also work as a part-time instructor for one of the universities based here in Toronto. I teach postgraduate diploma courses, so like vulnerability management, cybersecurity tools and techniques. And I'm also an active volunteer for the different cybersecurity communities, such as the Women in Cybersecurity Voices Western Canada, as well as ISC2. And I'm also a passionate speaker at the different leading industry conferences. So yeah, just an intro about myself. So today we'll be looking at the agenda for today covers essentially eight topics. We'll be looking at first the challenges faced by the cybersecurity industry, and then I'll be walking you through the overview of AI technologies and the applications in cybersecurity. So just like a quick brush up there, and then we'll be diving into how does AI help prevent cybersecurity threats. I've essentially collected some statistics which pertains to how exactly AI is getting adopted within the cybersecurity industry. And then we'll also be looking at potential for misuse of AI in cybersecurity, and then strategies to balance AI and cybersecurity, as well as some key factors to consider. And then I'll be ending the presentation with some concluding thoughts there. So when we talk about the challenges faced by cybersecurity industry, obviously the threat landscape, it's constantly evolving and there are numerous emerging threats that are growing like on an everyday basis. So like cyber criminals, they're becoming increasingly sophisticated. They're utilizing advanced techniques and tools to breach the systems, steal the data, and then disrupt the operations. And obviously when we talk about like ransomware attacks, this attack is generally targeted for like to encrypt the data and then kind of like demand ransoms based off on that. Insider threats is another emerging thing, which is like when we deal with contractors as well as like malicious as well as folks or employees working within the company with malicious intent or causing like accidental errors to compromise the integrity of the organization. And then we talk about like zero-day vulnerabilities. These are essentially the new undiscovered vulnerabilities. The patches for these vulnerabilities are kind of like not known. So yeah, these are kind of like the hot topics in terms of like when we talk about, okay, what exactly the threat actors are targeting. The IoT and OT security, essentially all our systems, all the gadgets, all the devices today are interconnected. This is because that's like one of the beauty of the internet, and all it takes is like to compromise one particular device or one particular systems and then get access to our data. Cloud security, as the organizations transitions to the cloud, as we are adopting more and more of like the digital transformation, it's necessary to ensure the security of cloud-based resources and the data that's associated with it. Phishing and social engineering, definitely phishing attacks, including like your spear phishing and then business email compromise, they continue to be a prevalent threat vector, like to the data. So if we talk about like if we talk about the overview of AI technologies and their applications in the cybersecurity, so I've just kind of like highlighted the main ones, and then we'll be just looking at quickly like what each of them exactly pertains to, and then we'll be diving into how does AI actually help prevent cybersecurity threats. So if we talk about like machine learning, so machine learning is essentially a subset of the AI that focuses on developing the algorithms which are capable of learning from data and making predictions or decisions without the explicit programming. Now, if we talk about how exactly the applications of machine learning in cybersecurity, it could perhaps be used for like your anomaly detections, where your ML algorithms they can analyze the vast amounts of network traffic, user behavior, or system data to identify unusual patterns indicating of malicious activities. It can also be used for your predictive analytics, which is where your machine learning algorithms as well as models they forecast potential security threats by analyzing historical data and then identifying emerging trends or patterns which is associated with cyber attacks. The next is your deep learning, which is kind of like a specialized subset of your machine learning, and it utilizes neural networks with multiple layers to analyze the various forms of data, such as your images, text, or sound. Now, where exactly deep learning can come into play is when we talk about like your malware detections, which is like essentially analyzing your file structures and code patterns to detect and classify malware variants with like high accuracy. Another area where your deep learning can be utilized is your image and video analysis. Like your deep learning algorithms, they can analyze the visual content, such as your security camera footage or digital images, or to identify suspicious activities as well as objects. The next comes as your natural language processing, which is NLP. Now, that is a branch of AI that focuses on enabling machines to understand, interpret, and generate the human language. If we look at how exactly this could be applied to cybersecurity, this threat intelligence, as well as your chatbots and virtual assistants are two areas where you can have your natural language processing. If we talk about the chatbots and virtual assistants, your NLP-powered chatbots, they can automate the responses to your security inquiries and then assisting users with the security protocols or facilitating incident response processes. Reinforcement learning. So this is type of like a machine learning where an agent learns to make decisions by interacting with an environment to achieve specific goals or outcomes. So if we talk about your automated response systems or your cybersecurity games and simulations, these are the areas where reinforcement learning can really help. Your reinforcement learning algorithms, they can train the agents to make like real-time decisions, and they can adapt responses to your cyber threats based on the feedback received from the environment. And similarly, they can be applied to develop interactive games or simulations for training security professionals and testing defense strategies against simulated cyber attacks. Last but not the least, it's your AI-driven automation and orchestration. And then such technologies, they enable the organizations to automate the routine tasks and then streamline security operations and orchestrate complex workflows across the various tools and systems. And we'll be taking a deep dive into that. For example, like your incident response automations, your threat hunting and investigation are two such areas. Like your AI technologies, they can significantly assist your security analysts in conducting the proactive threat hunting activities by kind of like analyzing the data, identifying potential indicators of compromise, and then prioritizing investigative efforts. So if we look into how does AI help prevent cybersecurity threats, again, the next two slides is kind of like they don't give a very comprehensive view because there are numerous other areas within cybersecurity where we can leverage AI to assist with cybersecurity operations, because cybersecurity, it's kind of like faces a multitude of challenges today. And then AI, your large language models, and then your machine learning, they can help address several of them. So if you talk about like your faster detections or your advanced threat detections, your AI and machine learning, they can enhance the threat detection by identifying patterns and anomalies in like vast data sets, helping to detect sophisticated and previously unknown threats that traditional rule-based systems, could not do. Network traffic analysis is another area where they can identify your unusual or malicious activity and then improving the intrusion detections as well as prevention. Phishing and social engineering attacks, which we talked about before, they can be used to analyze your email content, user behavior, and then your communication patterns to detect phishing attempts and social engineering attacks like more effectively. Adaptive authentication, if we talk about it, so this can provide more of like your context aware and then risk based authentication. So, which is more like you're adjusting the authentication requirements based on the perceived risk of the user as well as the transaction. Behavior-based anomaly detection. So AI can establish a baseline of normal behavior for users and systems and then detect deviations from this baseline. So helping identify your insider threats and unusual activities. Vulnerability management. So machine learning can definitely assist in prioritizing the vulnerabilities based on potential impact and risk, enabling organizations, to focus their resources on critical issues. Then comes the automated response and orchestrations. So your AI-powered automation and orchestration platforms, they enable the organizations to automate kind of like your routine tasks and then streamline your incident response processes and kind of like orchestrate your coordinated actions across various security tools and systems. So by kind of like integrating your AI-driven automation capabilities, the organization can accelerate their incident response process times, the analysis, the remediations, etc., so on and so forth. Adaptive security controls and dynamic defense mechanisms. Obviously, they AI like these can, but kind of like leveraging the AI-driven adaptive algorithms, the organizations can continuously monitor their security posture. They can kind of like adjust the security controls in real time and then proactively defend against emerging threats, vulnerabilities, or attack vectors effectively. Enhanced malware detection. So when we talk about your AI algorithms, such as your deep learning models, they can definitely analyze the file structures, code patterns, or kind of like behavioral characteristics to detect and classify malware variants with like high accuracy. Continuous monitoring and threat hunting. The AI technologies, they enable the organizations to implement continuous monitoring capabilities and then conduct kind of like proactive threat hunting activities to identify and mitigate security threats before they escalate. So yeah, these are kind of like some of the areas where your AI can really help prevent like cybersecurity threats and then speed up like or automate some of the cybersecurity like processes. Security analytics is another area, and when we talk about like scalability and efficiency, and then human error mitigations, because considering that AI, it can help reduce errors caused by human operators by automating your routine tasks and providing decision support. That's another area where AI can be leveraged. So if we look at like some of the statistics pertaining to how like AI has been adopted in cybersecurity, there was kind of like a research study which was conducted by McKinsey in 2023. So there's kind of like 56,000 is kind of like the new pieces of malware which is detected every day. So if we resort to like manual analysis, this really becomes like hard. And there's good chances that we might miss. So 59% of organizations, they have shortage of cybersecurity talent, and then 27 billion endpoints are expected to be connected by 2025. So we see the increase in the number of endpoints and the need to protect our endpoints. So 68% of enterprises have experienced a compromised endpoint. And then 21% of respondents, they say that they have established policies governing employees' use of Gen AI technologies in their work. Again, another developing thing, the use of like Gen AI and how exactly like the policy, how exactly to shape up that policy. So this is something which is, again, we are going to see. Inaccuracy, cybersecurity, and IP infringement, they are most cited risks of Gen AI adoption. So just some statistics and numbers there is just to more of like an eye opener and to emphasize that why do we need to adopt AI in cybersecurity and what exactly are the pitfalls. So the next deck essentially is going to walk us through what exactly are the pitfalls or the potential for misuses of AI in cybersecurity. Now, there are kind of like, if we talk about this, there are a number of challenges that hinder the AI's immediate transformative impact in cybersecurity. So if we look at like your generative AI, this is kind of like a type of AI technology that can provide various types of content, including like your text, imagery, audio, etc. Now, the recent buzz around like your Gen AI, it has been driven by the simplicity of new user interfaces for creating high quality text, graphics, and videos in like a matter of seconds. And a very good example of this is like your Chat GPT. It's like one example and a specific implementation of your Gen AI designed explicitly for conversational purposes. Now, this particular like Gen AI, it has unlocked concerns about your deep fakes, which are kind of like your digitally forged images of videos and harmful cybersecurity attacks on businesses, including like your malicious requests that realistically mimic an employee's bosses and can be used for more of like your social engineering attacks. AI supported captcha breaking and hacking. So captcha, which is kind of like your abbreviation for your completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. Now, that is kind of like a technology that today it helps to distinguish between humans and bots, right? And then saves your website from malicious intentions. However, research has shown and studies have also shown that captcha can be broken with the help of machine learning models. Data manipulation and data poisoning. So if the data is modified or poisoned, an AI-powered tool, it can produce unexpected or even malicious outcomes. AI automated malware. So AI, it's also helping cyber criminals deliver malware through trusted social media platforms, such as kind of like your YouTube. So your malicious actors, they're creating AI-generated videos that appear to be kind of like your tutorials. And all like if a person goes on them and kind of like clicks on it, then the malware gets downloaded. Last but not the least, AI privacy risks. So AI technologies, they often collect and analyze like large amounts of personal data, raising issues related to data privacy and security. So to mitigate your privacy risk, we must advocate for like strict data protection regulations and then safe data handling practices. So just one kind of like I've taken an example of like a case study where it's like related to your deep fakes, which involve the use of AI techniques to manipulate or generate visual and or audio content. Now, in 2018, a good example of this would be like in 2018, a deepfake video featuring the former president like Barack Obama. It was created to spread disinformation and then manipulate the public opinion. So the video was convincingly crafted using the AI algorithms to mimic the voice and facial movements and then highlighting the potential of deepfake technology to deceive individuals and then propagate fake content. Again, there are like numerous other things like deepfakes. It can be subcategorized into your like face replacement, face generation, speech synthesis, as well as shallow fakes. So if we talk about the strategies to balance AI and cybersecurity, like how do we exactly strike the balance? So first things first, we need to adopt a hybrid approach. So combine the AI's analytical abilities with human expertise to create a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy, because humans, they can essentially provide the context, intuition, and oversight, while AI, it can definitely handle all the repetitive tasks, which means like automations, by bringing in automations as well as your data analysis. Regular updates and training. So we need to like continuously update the AI models and algorithms to defend against evolving cyber threats. And additionally, we need to train cybersecurity professionals to understand AI and its potential implications. Transparency and accountability. We need to ensure like transparency in AI systems by understanding how they make decisions and then implement mechanisms for accountability to mitigate risks associated with AI failures or their misuse. Data protection measures. So implement your like robust data protection measures to safeguard sensitive information used by AI systems. And then this includes like your encryption, access controls, and data minimization techniques. And last but not the least is your ethical considerations, which is, such as ensuring like there is fairness, avoiding bias, and then respecting the privacy rights. So quickly diving into just spending a couple of minutes there about the emerging trends and technologies which are shaping the future of AI and cybersecurity. So AI-powered cyber physical systems. So these kind of like they integrate your AI technologies with physical components such as your industrial control systems, your autonomous vehicles, smart infrastructure, so like even your IoT devices to enhance the automation, optimization, and intelligence in diverse domains. So when we talk about like if you look at it from the respect of like cybersecurity, the convergence of AI and then your cyber physical system, they tend to introduce new challenges and risks, such as your complex attack surfaces, system vulnerabilities, or potential, safety critical features. So cybersecurity professionals, they must develop adaptive and resilient strategies to address the unique cybersecurity requirements and then threats associated with AI-powered cyber physical systems effectively. Federated learning and edge AI. So these enable the AI models to be trained, updated, or deployed directly on edge devices, such as your smartphones, your edge servers, right? Like without transmitting your sensitive data to centralized servers or cloud platforms. Now, when we talk about when we look at it from cybersecurity perspective, these are technologies that definitely offer the opportunity to enhance your privacy, reduce data transmission risk, and then improve the, real-time responsiveness in AI-driven applications. AI-driven automation and orchestration platforms, definitely like these enable the organizations to automate your routine tasks, streamline incident response processes, so on and so forth that we talked about before. Now, on one hand, yes, these can enhance efficiency, scalability, and consistency in cybersecurity operations. However, organizations, they must implement robust governance frameworks like your access controls, your logging and monitoring to mitigate the risks and ensure that there is compliance and then maintain control over AI-driven automated processes effectively. Last but not the least, your AI-powered deception technologies. So these leverage AI algorithms to create like decoy systems, networks, or resources that mimic your legitimate assets and then lure the attackers into revealing their tactics, techniques, or presence within the environment. So if we talk about it from like implications for cybersecurity, your AI-driven deception technologies, they offer innovative approaches like to enhance your threat detections, like gather the threat intelligence and then disrupt the adversarial activities. And then by leveraging such techniques, organizations can enhance their defensive strategies, can mitigate the risks, and then gain insights into emerging threats or attack patterns within the environment. Now, if we want to like strike the right balance between AI, between the use of AI and then cybersecurity, there are some key factors to consider. So the first things first is the quality of the data. So since AI relies on the aggregations of like different data, if the data is not correct, if the data is not precise or not relevant, then AI will make decisions that could be inaccurate, right? So that's one of the things. And then choosing the right model that best fits the project requirement as well as taking into account computational requirements. Like these are some of the other crucial factors that an organization should consider, when creating an AI implementation strategy. So need to ensure that the infrastructure can support the computational requirements of the chosen model as well. Security and privacy, obviously, must address the security concerns, ensure that there are security controls in place, and privacy impact assessments to address the privacy concerns associated with the use of AI. And then about the ethical implications of implementing AI in business. It should be fair, it should be transparent, and it should be unbiased. And additionally, organizations, they must consider the potential impact of the AI systems on the society as well as the environment. Integration with existing systems. So obviously organizations must consider the impact of the AI systems on the workflows and the processes which are kind of like already in place. And it must be integrated in a way that minimizes the disruption and enhances productivity. And lastly, there has to be like monitoring in place. So and we need to emphasize on the use of like responsible AI for generative AI. So just to kind of like summarize it, yes, AI, it's quickly arising like as a high priority innovations for improving the performance of IT security groups, but kind of like, again, there has to be a right balance and key factors should be considered when implementing the AI solutions. So just a kind of like a quick recap here. How do we strike the right balance between the use of AI and cybersecurity? Obviously, we would want to like harness AI's potential. Say, for instance, if we talk about like your threat detection, automating the routine tasks, and then optimizing the cybersecurity operations effectively, we would want to address the ethical concerns related to like implementations of AI, ensure that there is transparency, fairness, and accountability in AI algorithms, and then practices to mitigate the risks associated with biases, discriminations, or your unintended consequences. Balancing innovation and security. So fostering kind of like a collaborative and adaptive approach that promotes innovation in AI-driven solutions while maintaining robust cybersecurity defenses and then resilience against your evolving threats. Empowering human expertise, so recognizing the complementary roles of AI and human expertise in cybersecurity and fostering that piece of like collaboration. And then similar to that, implementing the robust governance as well as controls and adopting a proactive and adaptive strategy. So, kind of like embracing a proactive and adaptive cybersecurity strategy that integrates AI-driven technologies, continuous monitoring, and dynamic defense mechanisms to anticipate, detect, and mitigate the cyber threats effectively. And then last but not the least, investing in education and training. This is because if we prioritize education, training, and skill development initiatives to equip the cybersecurity professionals with the knowledge, skills, and resources that's needed to navigate the evolving landscape of AI-driven cyber threats responsibly, then it's going to be, it's going to pay in the longer run. So with this, I would like to conclude the presentation. I've listed my contact information and thank you so much.